Okay, I'm on my Ubuntu 10.10 or Maverick Meerkat system, and I'm just looking at some of the neat features. I'm running Compass right now, and it gives you kind of a 3D desktop cube, and you can do other things with it. And right now I'm playing two videos at one time, plus I'm doing a screen capture. And just to kind of show you, I can take this one, and you can have multiple desktops. And I mean, yeah, it's a lot of fun, but the usefulness of this is that you can actually take applications and drag them to other desktops. And if you do that, if you're multitasking a lot, it provides a neat, convenient way to switch between applications very quickly. Plus, it's just kind of cool to watch movies from a backwards and a 3D and all kind of weird. Um, Interesting there, huh? Yeah. Anyway, um, and some of the other things you can do. Um, I'm gonna play with some of the effects here. If I go, and this is Docky, kind of like Apple's toolbar there. But I'm gonna go to the Compass uh, configuration manager, and just some of the other options that you can choose or that you can pick. If I choose this one, instead of a cube, I can get sort of a cylinder. And again, same thing, I can switch between multiple desktops that way. I like using the special effects, and if you do and you minimize and maximize things, it just adds different effects to it. The water effect is kind of fun. If I go here and I turn this on, and let me see, what was that? Shift and Control. All right, turns up. So let me do Shift and Control. And you can make it rain or do sort of a ripple water effect. And I'm going to stop that. And then there's also the paint effect, which is kind of nice and fun to play with. And let me see what the controls are. Okay, I just hold down the control key there. Alright, so I'm going to do that, and I'm just going to write something here. I'm going to hold down control, and just it paints fire on your desktop. That's Falcor, by the way, as good as I can make it. Are you? Oh, my mouse. Need a new mouse. Rules. Put a little E there. Falcor rules. As good as I can make it anyway. Yes, Falcor will never die, folks. He will live on forever and ever. No matter what you say. Haha. But in this case, I'll go ahead and disable that feature or that effect. And well, actually, let me show you one more neat little effect here. If I go here, and just paint something there, and look at that. I can rotate the desk tube irrespective of that effect. I mean, there's just, good grief, there's more than you could possibly play with or shake a stick at there in terms of effects. Alright. And this is Half-Life 2, running inside of one. This, again, kind of emulating a Windows environment. And if you go to just, Google Wine, the Windows emulator software, and go to their website, and there's a lot of games and a lot of applications that they have tweaked to run in Linux, using Wine. But if I were to, say I were to start a new game, I'll click Start New Game here. Won't actually play anything. I'm trying to keep this brief, but just to kind of show you, you know, maybe what the performance is. And this is, I'm running this on an older laptop, so it's not like it's a real fast machine.
And shine, Mr. Freeman. Rise and shine. Not that I wish to imply you have at least.
Oh, that guy's creepy, isn't he? Anyway. Some of the other Windows applications I'm running under Wine are Microsoft Office Front Page 2003 and Office. This exam view test generator software um, that I use. I couldn't find a utility that would first of all, notice that Wine kind of emulates a Windows system as far as the program files folder and the C drive and users and Windows and so forth. And these are all Windows programs that I have installed or set up. Like for instance, I couldn't find a Linux-based program yet or open source program to decompress ZipX files. But I found this one in Windows and I can run it through Wine. So it's kind of the best of both worlds there. These are some of the free open source games out there. I like this one. It's kind of like Unreal Tournament. It's called Alien Arena. It's an open source game and you can play online. You can do LAN games. About comparable to maybe U2 2004, possibly getting up towards maybe Unreal 3. But again, it's pretty fascinating for a game produced, in the open source community. And I'm screen capturing and trying to render all this 3D at the same time, so it's not on a pretty second-rate slow laptop, but you can kind of get an idea. Okay. There's lots of open source, Xscorch, which is sort of like the, open source free version of Scorched Earth and Galaga. Whatever games that you like. This is another one. This one's not quite as exciting as, I don't, graphically I don't think it's as sophisticated as Alien Arena, but, again, just to kind of show you. Okay. This is a nice application called Stellarium. And if you're into amateur astronomy, it's great. And it's funny because the same program, the same program for Windows is like, I don't know, $120, $130. But I'm gonna, and you can, if you're into stargazing, you can map out constellations and you can kind of figure out I'm just, showing you some of the features here available. So that's kind of neat software. And then look at all the free applications and things, in addition to the things that we've already looked at. There's just, so many things that in the open source community that you can use and install for free. I've been using all of these video editors here to kind of produce some of these video clips and things I've been posting on YouTube. And again, the capture software itself that's recording right now, it's all free open source software. The Skype beta, it works pretty nice again. Same thing. Let's see. In addition to Wine, NetBeans, if you're a programmer and you like to compile with Java or C++, NetBeans is pretty indispensable, and it looks the same and works the same in Ubuntu as it does in in Windows. One of the things that is a free download that you may want to consider installing is VMware. And again, I see a lot of people run VMware. I'm going to boot this XP client up here. And I see a lot of people run Linux Ubuntu as a virtual machine on their Windows 7. But if you do that, and this is just a Snow Leopard or Mac OS 10.6 virtual machine I have, and I have a Windows 7 virtual machine, but this is my XP virtual machine. Um, if you do that though, if you run Ubuntu on a virtual machine, you're not really going to get the full power of Linux because it's a guest, and if your host is Windows 7, then it's still consuming a huge portion of your memory and your CPU cycles and everything. On the other hand, if you choose to do the opposite, you can run Linux natively, like Linux Ubuntu, and then if you still want to use your Microsoft software, you can run that in a virtual machine over Linux. And then that way you can give Linux the benefit of having access to the full measure of your hardware, as far as memory and CPU cycles and graphics and things like that. But I just kind of booted that up, and again, this VMware server, it's a free download. I mean, there are versions you can buy and pay for, but there are versions available for free that you can just download and install. This particular one, it was a bin file, and I installed it. I had a couple of shell scripts that I ran to install it, and it was pretty straightforward, and nothing difficult as far as the setup process. Um, that's about it as far as anything I can recommend to pimp your system out. I would install MPlayer, which is sort of like a media Swiss Army knife. It plays everything. Obviously, I would install a VLC media player. Um, that plays just about everything as far as the multimedia end goes.